Yo, welcome to my YouTube video. I just recorded the previous one. I probably will upload this. I probably will upload the other one as well. Anywho, today's video. Today's second video. Top 5 sweaters that you should have in your closet. Okay. Number 1. Big, poofy wool sweater. Itchy wool sweater. Now, why do you need this? Because it's so warm. This oftentimes is a replacement for my winter jacket. Which is insane if you think about it. I usually, I have like a couple layers on underneath this, like, a cotton shirt. A cotton button-up shirt. And a hoodie. Normally I'll wear those two things if it's particularly cold out underneath this. But like, dude, I got this at the thrift store for like $15. And it's it's just a lovely piece of equipment. Because it's 100% wool, it's made in Hong Kong. I'll let you see the tag there. That's what the tag looks like. If you focus in, I think that's good enough. Okay, so that is number 1. Why do you need this? Winter. When it's really cold out. And I'd say it's kind of stylish. It's not super stylish, but I like how it looks. Number 2. Something a little less light, but is also wool. If you couldn't tell, I do like wool. This is a bit of a quarter zip type deal going on. And this will be, if I'm wearing another jacket or something that's less insulative as this big wool jacket, I will wear this underneath. So this will be, if I'm wearing this thinner button up and then a hoodie on top of that, and then my big jacket, my big thick wool sweater, instead of wearing the thick wool sweater and the hoodie, I will wear, the button up and then this over top of that, and then another jacket that isn't as warm. I'll just show you what this looks like. Boom. It protects your neck. It could do that, but if you want, you can also unzip it like that. You're not going to be able to find something like this. I'm telling you now, but something of this, characteristic, I think is pretty good. I'm just basically showing you my closet. I have no reason for making this video. But yeah, I think this is a great option for something that's like a middleware. You've heard of middleware in servers, now get ready for middleware in clothing. Actually, maybe that's a thing that started in clothing. Middleware in servers, that's like, if you have a server that's serving like a website or something like that. Let's say somebody with a web browser makes a request to your server. Well, where is that gonna go? It's gonna go to the server through the browser right to the server. Client server architecture, right? Once it gets to the server can be like, yo, this guy's asking for something. This guy's asking for like my web page, my index.html file, and so what does the server do? It brings you the index.html file. It finds that file on the computer and it gives it to the client. That makes sense. Now, what if you want to do something? Like what if it's filling out a form or something? Maybe you're on that index website and you want to fill out a form that's on that page. Well, the user fills out the data in the form, and then they send it over to the server, and the server's like, well, I can't just like send something. I can't send a freaking form submitted page back until I know the form has actually been submitted. The server has to do something. It needs to like validate the inputs before it can say your file or your form went through or your form didn't go through. So that that function that will determine the output that gets sent back to the client is called the middleware. That is the thing. So the client sends something to the server, before it can determine what to send back. It needs to do some other stuff. All of that other stuff, I believe, is called the middleware. I could be totally wrong about that. Let me look it up. Middleware. Computer software that provides services to software applications. Sure, that's a very broad definition, but I think that works. Anyway, back to the wool sweaters. Number 3, third type of wool sweater. Third type of wool sweater. This I got at Tommy Hilfiger. Black Friday deal. Hell yeah. This kind of wool sweater is going to be made to use in more formal applications. This is my third wool sweater of the video. Isn't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Yeah, 100% wool. Look at that. I should show you what the other tag is for this, the second sweater. Sweater number 2. Ireland's Eye. Ain't that sweet? I got this at the thrift store as well. I should have mentioned that. I don't know if you can view that. It's very small and faint writing, but there you go. This is going to be worn typically over top of a dress shirt, but I'm just going to put it on now, like so, and tell you about it. Now this sweater, unlike the other 2 wool sweaters, is actually very comfortable and soft, and it does not itch like crazy. So you can actually wear this not just over top of a dress shirt, but also like this. Like this looks fine, I think. I think I'm not a fashion guru, but I think this is fine. You know, I would go out wearing this on its own, but I wouldn't wear this directly on my skin without like a t-shirt underneath, because you know, this is a nice expensive sweater. This is a higher end sweater. The other 2 sweaters, they're not so higher end. You get those at the thrift store. This kind of sweater is, you got to take more care of it. Do I have any more sweaters to show you? I do, but they're not a swag. I think this is not going to be a top 5 video. No, this will not be a top 5 video. I can make it a top 5 video. Okay, what else do? I could show you my jackets. I'll be right back. I'll show you my jackets. Alright, what kind of jackets do you want? You know, what kind of jackets should you have? What's the bare minimum of jackets that you should have? I think you should have at least one good quality jacket that's that's good for winter. That's the first and foremost thing. If you're in Canada or northern US, that's what you would want. You would want something that's thick, that has, you know, filler on the inside, like a down type pattern. I got this at the thrift store for $32. And this is a Levi's jacket. It's not bad. I don't hate it. And it fits me well. Got this recently, within the last week or 2. So that's the first kind of jacket. For something like this, this is, if I'm being honest, a little lighter than what I would recommend. But since I am good at layering, I just wear a bunch of layers, and it's fine. Another jacket that's more for style and the less cold days of the year, like in autumn or, you know, spring, something like that. I would wear something that's got that has more character to it, you know? You want your clothing to have character. And this, my friends, this has character. This is this is a shot jacket that's made in the US of A. And it was made in 2021. I contacted the developers of this jacket. I contacted the devs and I asked them when this was produced, and they said it was pushed to master in 2021, and it was redistributed in 2022. It was shipped out, and This is crazy. Okay, you're not going to find this jacket at the thrift store like me, like the baller Will here. This jacket, made in USA 2021, full grain buffalo leather. This thing will run you about $1,400 if you bought it new. The person who bought this in 2022 bought this for $1,400, I'm pretty sure. And I got it for $32. You jealous? I know you're jealous. I'm sorry. But if you're going to get a jacket to wear regularly that's not for extreme cold, I think it should be something that has a little more style, that has that speaks to who you are as a person. Now, this jacket didn't really speak to who I am as a person because I started to think of what I find at the thrift store, like the universe giving me something, right? So in a way, this does speak to who I am as a person because it's not something that I chose. The person who I am is somebody who lets the world decide for them sometimes. So the world decided that this is the jacket that I would wear from now on, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Leather jackets aren't for everybody, but I didn't think they were for me. I really didn't. It's not something that I thought I'd go... I would never go out of my way to get a leather jacket, but now that I have one, it's like, I can't live without it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so those are 2 jackets. If I'm... What? How much time? Okay, we're at 11:30. I might as well go through the rest of my closet here. I might as well. So, what kind of shirts should you be wearing? What kind of shirts do I wear? Well, that's a good question. I have a selection here. These are not shirts that I wear all of the time, but I want to wear more of these. These are more dressy shirts. This one isn't as dressy. It's more of a beige color. But this shirt is more dressy. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren. Beautiful shirt. And I would wear that to work if I wanted to take myself seriously. Same with... actually, this black shirt I was thinking about donating because it doesn't fit quite so well. It's a little bit small. So I bought this black shirt from the thrift store recently to compensate for that. So I have a good working order black shirt. And this is just a green. So dress shirts, you should probably have like 3 different colors. Maybe 2. Do as many as you want, really. I'm not your mother. So on top of these dress shirts, what should you wear? We're going for a maximum number of outfits that you can produce from these shirts. Well, in theory, in theory, you want to wear pants that complement these shirts. At least I do. I have no idea what I'm talking about, by the way. You should not trust me as an authority figure whatsoever. But, am I still stupid? Yes, I am. I need all my hangers to face the same way. Okay. Okay. So, pants. I'm not done with shirts just yet, but I will get to pants briefly as a tangent. I have 3 pairs of pants that can go with these shirts. 2 of these were also from Tommy Hilfiger on a Black Friday deal because I am cheap. This one is not, just a standard beige pair of pants, you know. You want something like that. And then I have gray and dark navy blue. Heck yeah. So these colors would go well, like the gray, it could go well with, you know, the gray collared shirt. It could go with the black collared shirt. The navy blue, that can go with the beige. It could go with the gray. It could go with the, you know, the black if you're feeling that way. So you can make a lot of options with, you know, a limited set of colors. I think that should be what you should strive for. I also have a black pair of pants, you know, do not fret. I have a black pair of pants as well, and that can go with any one of the shirts, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it really matters. But what ends up happening in reality is I wear these pants that I'm wearing now. These are Carhartt Relaxed Fit Duck Double Front Utility Work Pants. And I wear these because they have a ton of pockets. Tons of pockets. Uh, and they're also durable. And they got a double knee in the front, and they have a pocket to put knee pads if you want. You know, they got everything. They got everything you could ever want. They got, you know, hold on. The belt loops, they have 2 over here, they have 1 in the middle. So that's like 7 belt loops total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 belt loops. So it's made with durability in mind with the construction. One thing I have to mention about these pants though is that they are 1%, what is it, like elastane, something like that? They're 99% cotton. So they do have a tiny bit of flex. That is a good thing. I don't hate that, but there is a trade-off to be made for durability, I think. And I do enjoy having all natural materials for my clothing. Sometimes that's not possible. And it costs a lot more. So I usually just end up wearing these pants and wearing whatever shirt. I have a lot of t-shirts. Oh, I want more t-shirts. I actually don't have a lot of t-shirts, but I wear a lot of t-shirts. Mostly black t-shirts. You know, right now I'm wearing a shirt that doesn't fit me very well, if you can notice. That's because when I go to work, I like wearing my favorite clothing and my favorite t-shirts and all that stuff. So, that has been a quick rundown of what I wear on a day-to-day basis. Now you know what I look like. If you were to follow me and stalk me home, you'd be able to find me in a crowd of people, because you know all of the stuff that I wear. Perfect. You're so welcome for that. Alright. Goodbye. Don't follow me.